Coach at Arnhem, Thomas Leitch.
Yeah! Der Kandidat hat 100 Punkte. Excellent. Of course, he's the coach for Bochum. I thought that was an interesting coincidence, and I thought I'd show you a funny statistic as well.
So, yeah, and you said, hey, they got a piece of their own medicine, but I would like to disagree here because...
What?
The clock reached 000, and everything that comes after is just not part of the game anymore. Will you be there for a little meet and greet?
No, I don't know. Maybe I'll see. There's still negotiations going on in the house of here with my female bosses. Yeah. Now I have many. Mm-hmm. A lot of dads and husbands know what I'm talking about. Plus a dog. Welcome to RBLE Global Tracks, Leipzig's fresh RB Leipzig podcast in English, brought to you by Richard and Mario. Amongst us, we are season ticket holders, passionate supporters, and not very neutral local pundits. Both of us have been following Leipzig football since our childhood days, so if you want to hear about RB Leipzig, capture the mood of the fans in the city, and if you want to go beyond numbers and statistics, you are in the right place. We're delighted to welcome you on board. Let's go. Auf geht's, Leipziger Jungs. Guten Abend, Richard. How the devil are you?
Guten Abend, Mario. Thank you. I'm good. Good. Week starts Monday. I had a very long weekend. You know, if you're doing some entertaining stuff Friday night.
You've got bruises.
Yeah, and high ankle sprain this time.
Ooh, I
come back from concert on Friday. So no, but you know, if you start with entertaining Friday and then do something extraordinary on Saturday morning, so you have a really, really, really long weekend, and it was pretty nice. So yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
Very good. Glad you enjoyed it, and you come out of this weekend refreshed. But I'm afraid you're on the injury list now, aren't you? So let's get the wheelchair out for you.
Well, no, I'm recovering pretty speedy, mate.
Good for you, mate. Well, today, let's talk about the match at Bochum on Saturday and our upcoming game in Madrid. And I know there's quite a lot of supporters already in Madrid admiring the city, and why shouldn't you? So let's talk about the match in Bochum. Richard, there are a couple of things that caught my eye, actually only two, and I would like to use the headline Marco knows best. Of course, RB Leipzig took away the 3 points. They did win 4-1. It looks quite clear, but for a long time, the match was closer than the result actually suggests. So what are the things that caught my eye? Well, first of all, I don't know. I think you shared the same feeling. I saw the starting 11 for Marco Rose and I was a bit surprised, especially at the sight of seeing Mr. Seiwald starting. And I thought, okay, well, is this going to be? And why? And why is there no Goalpenda? And okay, Baumgartner is back, but Seiwald. So Seiwald, of course, I think he had a pretty solid performance, and he did do this monster pass from midfield to Paulsen, who passed it on to Xavi, who ended passing the ball into the box, or shooting the ball into the box, and then this one resulted in the 3-1 own goal by a Bochum player. It was a very good play that we did at that time, and it was during those crazy 4 minutes where RB Leipzig actually scored 3 goals and put the game to bed, so to speak, with the new substitutes. But I like to see and like to think that we did see encouraging signs for Seiwald. Maybe not so much of being a really good player like, Schlager or like Leimer used to be already this season, but I've got hopes for next season that he could be better. But I know, Richard, we had talks about Seiwald a couple of times, and you're not as optimistic as I am. Why aren't you as optimistic, mate?
It's hard to tell because there are not really the stats that supports my point. But I always got this feeling when I watched him play, and watched this game on Saturday. that he tries to avoid avoid tackles.
Hmm. Okay.
um, so yeah, every time he is involved in some defensive actions, it seemed like he wasn't yeah, loaded with the necessary awareness of the situation. So he got the ball sometimes in near our penalty box and then just like shut it away. So right, okay, I fulfilled my duties here. I avoided a goal against,
Hmm.
but nothing creative. And this I expect more from him. So you mentioned this beautiful pass, right?
Hmm.
Well, one of our goals. Okay, to be fair, I did remember that. So maybe I'm too critical of him. Could be true. But he did not convince me.
So, what would you like to see from Seiwald in for the rest of the season to convince him that he should have a regular place in the starting 11 next season?
I would like to see more presence, so to speak. So
Hmm.
compare him to Schlager or compare him with Leimer. Leimer on the pitch in defensive midfield, it was a clear leader of the team. It was the guy who was in charge and responsible, and you had I at least always had the feeling that he's comfortable with this role,
Hmm.
and this is something I miss when I watch Seiwald play.
Is it fair to say that the impression a bit like maybe a young boy is trying to grow into a senior team? Or is that too harsh?
No, I mean, you told me just before the recording that you are on the upside potential fan side of Seiwald, and this is okay, and you're not alone with this. So I got that feeling that I'm maybe too critical of him. So
Mm.
and I would happy to be the one that is proven wrong here. So yeah, but honestly, I don't see any development in since he joined us.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I thought I remember when we played City, and I thought he did. He did show the power, and he did show the fight there, and also on the defensive side as well. And that makes me optimistic that he will develop into a player that will be good for us next season. So let's keep our fingers crossed and follow that. But the other thing that caught my eye was that Marco Rose actually did substitution quite early. I don't know, maybe somebody set the alarm, but around the 60th minute, and reminded me of the away game at Berlin in versus Union when Šeško came on. Well, this time it seems like Bochum was getting more and more tired, and finally Openda and Pausen came in, and as we all know, that kind of made the difference. Oh, by the way, speaking of Openda, do you know where Openda was playing 2 years ago? I like to ask you a funny question this time.
Now you
D D
caught
D D
me.
D D D D. Oh no, not the Twilight Zone.
I think it was in the Netherlands.
Yeah, not bad. The
Al
club was called
Almelo?
Vitesse Arnhem.
Okay.
And who was the coach?
Coach at Arnhem, Thomas Leitch.
Yeah, der Kandidat hat 100 Punkte. Excellent. Of course, he's the coach for Bochum. I thought that was an interesting coincidence, and I thought I'll show you a funny statistic as well. But
Thank you.
anyway, we know Openda came on, and Pausen, and both of them scored. Well, Openda, yeah, and both of them scored. And they made such a big difference in those 3-4 minutes. Which, of course, led to the 3 points, the 4-1 score. And I must say, in those 3 minutes, I got more and more calm, kind of settled down. But afterwards, I still had an uneasy feeling because Bochum didn't give up. I don't know what your impression was. Bochum didn't give up. And with Gulaschi's performance on the day, which was a little bit shaky, I think, and I don't know if you saw it the same way, I wasn't so sure that we would keep it to a 4-1. And if you look at the statistics, I think you had a quick look at the statistics. It doesn't really support the view that RB Leipzig should have won 4-1 and was the really superior team. What do you think, Richard?
Well, yeah, you're right. 4 goals are way more than we should have scored in terms of X goals. I like that. Um, But on the other hand side, it's also true that Bochum was really, really harmless. This this one goal, which was like more own goal by Gulashi, so he can do anything with that ball. He can keep it. He can just use his fists and then bump this
Yeah.
into the stands. And he decided to do something very wrong, but that was literally the only chance they got. So, and even in the second half, and even after we scored our fourth goal, so yeah, they had this. Bochum didn't give up. That's true, but I never had the feeling that they would be able to score one more if it's not something like coincidence, like the go ahead goal was. So
Mhm.
yeah, and our performance, it was it was obvious what will happen in that game, that Bochum could not park the bus as they did in our first game when we faced them at home. And we talked about that they were able to beat Bayern, that they were able to beat Stuttgart, and so on. And they have to try to do something with the ball. And they did what they did very, very well was to destroy all of our ambitions, to go. They played an impressive, extremely high pressing. There was this one scene where Luque Bar was pressed to our goal line, and that's a kind of style from the Bundesliga, 14th place or whatever they are right now. That it
Mhm.
didn't impress me, and so that uh, caused that our players, yeah, was stressed all the time and didn't find good solutions, especially in the first 45 minutes. But on the other hand side, if they had the ball, there was, you all could always see their limitations.
Mhm.
I think they had 5 shots, not on target, but into the direction in the first half, and all of them come from out of the penalty box. So um, not really dangerous situations they created either.
But if you look at statistics, they had more attempts, and we had 4 shots on target and 4 goals. That sounds pretty effective to me. And of course, we had a disallowed goal by Xavi, where it took them 5 minutes to find out that the knee was in the way. That I've always find that so annoying when the VAR first of all calls in, and it takes them such a long time to find something to disallow the goal of your own team. Very annoying. Now, at least with Sheshko a couple of weeks ago, it was clear he has big feet, so of course it was offside. But the knee of Xavi, bloody hell.
Yeah, you nailed it. It was the width of a kneecap, and it caused the offside. And I'm wondering. So there's the VAR, and this is okay. And if it's offside, it's offside, and the goal has to be disallowed. So this is not the point. But the point is, there are these referee assistants. They're running up and down the sideline for a whole 90 minutes. And then there's a pass for Bochum right before that free kick that led to the early goal,
Mm-hmm.
um, where the ball is passed to Asano, I think it was, and he was, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 meters offside, and the linesmen are not able to recognize this situation. Come on.
It's too obvious, too easy. No, they
So
they just do the difficult stuff. Come on,
obviously, I
cut
do
them some
I
slack.
do understand that if this is no decision for the VAR, it's okay for me, but you have to. This is something I cannot. I cannot. Um,
Tolerate. It's
yeah.
very
Thank
the
you.
inconsistency. It's really
This is not. This is just not okay.
sometimes unbearable, and it's well, it kills the game, and it kills the joy of a football game. But this time, at the end of the day, we were lucky. But I was really, it was like an anticlimax. When Xavi scored, it looked great, and I thought, yeah, so well deserved. Come on. And he did this in a great way after missing that beautiful chance in the third or fourth minute. And as soon as they showed the referee and he was listening to his little earpiece, I thought, okay, it's going to take him a couple of minutes, but they are going to find something to disallow the goal. And they did. And you just get pessimistic. So I would suggest let's just wrap this up. We got the 3 points. Still in 5th place, still hunting Borussia Dortmund, who managed to beat Union Berlin at Berlin. But watch this space. There are still many, many weeks to come of football. And you predicted the 4 games winning streak. So to get on that sweep, we need 3 more wins. So next week versus Darmstadt, but we're going to discuss that later this week. Let's move on to Real Madrid. You know, we had this beautiful game. You watched the game at Leipzig. You did this little beautiful clip of the disallowed goal for Jesko. Well, Real had a taste of their own medicine a little bit at the weekend. They played Valencia in a La Liga game. They were 2-0 down. They overcame the deficit and equalized. There was some extra time. I think injury time was supposed to be 7 minutes. And in the 99th minute, the referee decided to whistle off a play. There was a cross from the right-hand side into the box. The ball was in the air. Hey, but the referee blew the whistle. The game was over, but Jude Bellingham, of course, hit the ball home into the net, but it wasn't the winning goal. So the whole thing kicked off. It was worse than in the NHL. Gloves were off already before that. Jude Bellingham saw a red card. I think Joselu also got a yellow card. Lots of action on the pitch, but it wasn't football. What do you think does that with Real Madrid when they see us, Richard?
Introducing our next opponent, their ignorant check.
I don't expect that they are affected. Does something effects from the next game versus RBL?
They're professionals.
They are professionals, of course. So yeah, and you said, hey, they got a piece of their own medicine, but I would like to disagree here because
What?
There's a whole difference. Jesko scored a regular goal. Okay, so
true. You're right. Yeah, true.
So there was nothing else than.
But Jude as well, maybe. No.
No, because you said it. The clock reached the 000, and everything that comes after is just not part of the game anymore.
Okay, technically you're right. So, emotionally, I think it's debatable.
I do agree with your point. It is and also a not professional behavior of the ref, just like the blind linesman in our game. That is, you cannot stop the game with the ball in play. Okay. So not in this situation. So,
but it was something really unusual, highly entertaining for all the neutral spectators, I must say. Before we move on, I'd just like to shout out that the fan club Red Campus is going to do public viewing again. That's going to take place in the Vienna House in the Goethestraße 10 in Leipzig. Starts at 2100. If you like to have more information, we put a link to their Facebook page into the description. Entry is free of charge, but you probably have to pay a lot of money for drinks because you're going to drink a lot when you watch the game. So if you want to make it, the fan club is actually formed out of students, also I think international. So even if you're not German, you don't speak German, I think you're highly warmly welcome to join everyone there. If you are not in Madrid or you want to watch it at home on DAZN. Is it DAZN? Yeah, it's DAZN. We're not getting any money for this, by the way. Thank you.
Will you be there for a little meet and greet?
No. I don't know. Maybe I'll see. There's still negotiations going on in the house of here with my female bosses. Now I have many. Mm-hmm. A lot of dads and husbands know what I'm talking about. Plus a dog. So Richard, what can we expect?
What can we expect? I know, there's not much hope I have. So the only thing I could imagine here is if you somehow come up with a 0-0 all draw after the first 45 minutes, and I think it's crucial for us, for our very low little ambitions to make this football wonder happen. We have to keep it scoreless for like at least 70-80 minutes, and then somehow try to score one, and maybe add one more. And maybe add one more in injury time or at a time in garbage time, whatever you call it. Just bring ourselves into the penalty shootout. So, but Real Madrid with every man back on deck. So they missed Bellingham, they missed Rüdiger when they come up to Leipzig in the first leg. Not sure from back from his injury in that game. You could see that he was limited in match practice, so this is now gone too. So yeah, this is going to be a much harder task, and then the atmosphere at Santiago Bernabeu. Well, yeah, I don't really have much hope here.
I think it's going to be extreme task, and I don't know. It's like playing Man City, where we're not in that tier. We're not in that level. Definitely not. We did do. I mean, RB Leipzig performed really well at City. I must say, first half definitely. But if you were on the same level or sort of similar level with Man City or Real, you would have come away with a draw in Manchester. And it felt like the inevitable that we're going to lose. And to be honest, we have to be quite honest as well. In Germany, in our league, we're not top level either, top shelf either. We are where we are, and we should definitely be amongst the top four, but we're definitely not as good as Bayern, and we're definitely not as good as Leverkusen. And at the moment, I would even think that we're not as good as VfB Stuttgart, and that hurts to say that. But Stuttgart and Leverkusen are playing the best football at the moment. If you get a chance, go and watch them. But I also think, hey, try to give it all and, well, leave the competition in a respectable fashion and earn respect again. And there's always a next time. If it is next year, we're going to see. But nevertheless, I mean, wonders can happen. Wunder geschehen immer wieder. I feel a song coming on. So,
yeah, but don't go out of the competition like last year, please.
Well, Haaland's not playing for us.
Real Madrid. There's this other guy,
he's English, isn't he?
Norwegian is English, yeah.
I don't.
Bellingham or something.
Jude. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So try to keep it as close as possible, and but you never know. You never know. Funny things can happen. But who do you think Marco Rose is going to send out to, well, give him a good show, good run for the money?
Fußballfans, wir kommen jetzt zu unserer heutigen Mannschaftsaufstellung.
Okay, I expect that he will stick to his favorite formation. We all know. And you asked me about Pete, and yeah, I do think that Pete will stay in the goal unless he will show us like one or two of those bloopers now in any game. So Pete in between the goalposts, Henrichs Orban Lukeba replaces the yellow card suspended Sima Kang in our defensive four next to Raum. Then Schlager. I expect Schlager to come back after his suspension in the Bundesliga to play a defensive midfield alongside Haidara. He was pretty impressive, or he is, so for weeks now. And I think this would be my defensive player number one. And of course, our well-known top four offensive department, Xavi, Olmo, Openda, and Shesko. So yeah, in the score prediction, well, sorry guys, I cannot try to do something very optimistic here.
Should I help you? I'll go first. I think mine is going to be worse than yours.
We will score one goal, but I expect us to lose 3-1.
Yeah, I think we're going to lose 4-1. But you never know. It might be a better result than that. By the way, there are about, I think, 3,500 to 4,000 RBL supporters expected in Madrid. And that is really good, especially in light of the fact, well, Lufthansa is on strike pretty soon again. So, but they're in Madrid. So that's I think after they've gone to Madrid, after the match has taken place, and then you can't use the train because I think they're on strike. So Germany at the moment is hit by a wave of strikes, but who knows? Who cares? We're going to walk. We can still walk. That's fine. So let's see. Everybody just enjoy the game. I hope we have a good game to watch. Just want to point out again, there's going to be public viewing. We'll put it in the show notes. Fan Club Red Compass is doing that. And, well, there is still hope, but realistically speaking, the chances are a bit slim this time. So, Richard, thank you very much for this early week episode. And everybody else, thank you very much for listening. If you like our podcast, kindly subscribe to it on your favorite platform. If you want to get in touch with us, leave us a review on the platform or send us an email at talktous@rbleglobaltracks.com, where you can also find us on Twitter. The name is podcast_RBL. Enjoy the Champions League match versus Real Madrid. Have a good week. We're going to talk to you a little bit later this week to have a look at the next weekend and to look back indeed at this match versus Madrid. Until then, thank you very much. Auf geht's, Leipziger Jungs.